Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Oh, Adam's repping. He's repping the Russell Wilson today.
Yeah, he is. How are we doing today, everyone? I hope we're having a marvelous day. I know I sure am.
You sound like it.
Yes, we got the Rona today, so. Oh, in the chat, if you're watching this later, we usually go live Wednesday or Thursday around 7:15. We're live here on YouTube, and you can interact with us in the chat. Don just said, yo, stuck at work, but watching the show. Also thinking of making a trip to the frozen tundra
Hey.
to watch the Bucks beat some cheeseheads. Oh, man. Week 15, December 17th. I mean...
You know what?
We might have to make that happen.
I can't wait to watch Baker Mayfield play Jordan Love.
Oh,
man.
Wow.
That is peak.
It's exciting.
That is peak football right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
Goodness. Sure. Don, you got to let us know if you actually do that.
Right,
What'd you say, Adam?
Baker's still elite, though, right, Jake?
Yeah. Top 15.
Top 15. Oh, you want to care to book that, Jake?
No. Joey says, before Adam salivates over his Broncos, tell him to make his picks in the Dynasty League.
Oh, am I up?
All right. We're going to, while Adam is doing that, Adam, why don't we start this? I'll mention it here in a sec on the actual podcast. I got the COVID, so I am feeling not the best. So let's make this happen.
Well, you look great, Jake.
Hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you are good, just as long as you look good. And
exactly right. Yeah, my mom used to tell me that.
I really aim for looking good. Let me just pull this up quick. Jordan, your very nice itinerary.
Oh yeah, it's great agenda for today. Can't wait to talk bad about the Broncos.
I'm gearing up.
You're gearing up. Yes, Don, we all live in Wisconsin, so if you do make it up here, let us know. Kyle Trask will be starting for the Bucks by week 5. All right.
Week 5?
All right, book it. He's booking it. All right, why don't we get into this, Jordan? You ready?
Yep.
All right, give me a thumbs up. Welcome back to the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. We're here to help you take the next step in your fantasy journey. My name is Jake, and I'm once again joined by my friend Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
Wonderful. Great day. Great day to talk about the AFC West.
Oh, I love the AFC West. You know who else loves the AFC West? The coach. Adam is also here. Adam, rocking the Russell Wilson jersey. How you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to talk about the best division in football, the most competitive division in football. Also has the best coach now. I think we can't dispute that.
Whoa.
It's a heck of – well, Andy Reid, that's a tough sell. Never mind, I take that back. But, hey, happy to be here. Great to be here. It's a beautiful day. Almost ditched you guys to golf, if I'm being honest with myself. But,
what?
I know. I'm sorry. It's a beautiful day. Football is my first love. Golf's a close second. But, hey, we're here. Glad to be here.
Oh, great. That's great. I'm glad I'm glad you decided to hang out with us.
You're welcome.
Jeez. All right. For anyone listening right now, we are live on Facebook or on YouTube at Next Step Fantasy Football Pod, YouTube / the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. Usually live around 7:30 Central Time, Wednesday or Thursday. So, if you want to be part of the chat, make sure you stop on by. Stop on by. We got a few people talking right now. Good times. Before we get into everything, what you guys want to play a game?
Oh, always, Jake. Always.
All right, we got a pretty simple one here. Top 10 receivers with the most catches.
Most receptions.
Receptions in league history. Over under is 7.5. I'm going to go 8.5. 8.5.
8.5. So we need to get 9 of the top 10.
You're right, 7.5. We'll do 7.5. I feel better about that. You guys ready?
Top 10 of all time.
Of all time.
Okay.
Are you guys ready? No cheating, ready. Jordan.
Yeah, I know. You always think I'm cheating.
Well, that's because you're a cheater. You're a phony. You're a gosh darn phony.
All right.
No, I think Jordan's just fine.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Ready, set, go. Go, boys.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice, yeah.
That is correct, number one. By over 100.
Tim Brown, lock it in.
That is correct, number 7.
Wow, way to go, Adam.
Got him.
Got him.
Randy Moss.
Lock it in.
That is incorrect. He is number 15 on the list. He never had 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, who would have thought, right? That's an X. So
Lynn Swan. What do you think about that, Jordan? I'm not locking it in yet. What do you think?
Throwback, huh?
Yeah. Played a while.
I think the amount of time that they played. Hit it, see what happens. Well, let's save it. Because Larry Fitzgerald is definitely one.
Yeah, Larry Fitz.
Number 2, the greatest receiver in NFL history, may I say?
I agree. Yep.
Oh.
Calvin Johnson, locking in.
That is incorrect. He is not on the list. That's X number 2. You guys are doing very poor.
All right, so we can't say Lynn Swan yet. What about one of those good old Colts receivers, huh? What about Marvin Harrison or Reggie Wayne?
Marvin Harrison, number 5. Reggie Wayne, number 10.
Come on. All right.
So what do you have?
So we're at 5 or 4?
You're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Still need 3 more. Can't get it wrong.
Yep.
What about guys like, is this wide receivers?
This is anyone.
Anyone.
What about Chris Carter?
That's a good one. Lock it in.
Chris Carter, number
Chris Carter,
6.
lock it in.
Jake, how many of them are tight ends on this list?
I can't answer that, sorry.
What about Tony Gonzalez? Tony
Yeah.
Gonzalez has got to be in there.
Yeah, he's number 3.
All right,
Okay.
good.
All right. How many
So
do we have
7.
so far?
You're at 7. Yep. You need...
Is another one a tight end?
You need 1, 2... I'm looking at the people. 3 people are missing.
What about Hines Ward?
No way.
No.
The only
Okay,
other
here you go,
tight
guys.
end I'm
You
thinking.
still have 45 seconds.
All right. The only other one that I'm thinking of from tight ends is like someone like Jason Witten, who just played a century and a half.
Century and a half.
Oh God. Let's table that with Lynn Swan.
Okay. What about guys like Andre Johnson,
Mm.
Steve Smith?
Oh
The
God.
GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT.
I think Steve's a lock. You want to lock it in, or should I? Because I always get him wrong.
20 seconds.
All right. So I'm between Andre Johnson, Steve Smith, Jason.
They both
Witten.
might be
Those
on
are my
there.
3. They all 3 might be on there. That might be the
I
last
know.
3.
10 seconds.
You lock one in right now. Come on.
I can't
10 seconds.
do it, Adam.
Steve Smith, lock it in.
I'm sorry. That is
No!
incorrect.
No!
Don, Joey, and John are yelling at you guys in the chat. Terrell
Oh, is
Owens.
it, no, Isaac Bruce.
Terrell Owens. Oh, how did we forget T.O., Adam?
God.
Jordan.
Isaac Bruce has got to be on
He
there.
is not.
No?
No, he is number 13. Steve Smith is 12. Andre Johnson is 11.
Oh, come on.
He
Was
says-
Jason Witten on it?
Number 4, Jordan.
Lynn Swan?
No, he's not even on the list.
Okay.
Art Monk is on the list before he is.
Oh, wow.
And then you guys missed number 9, Anquan Bolden.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
yeah.
It's because he played so long. Yeah.
Hey, just because I'm curious, and we're talking about the AFC West, where did Rod Smith fit on this list?
Oh, gosh. You guys are going to make me really go here. It's probably
Yeah.
better just to Google it. Oh, no, there he is. He's number 30.
Okay.
All right, well, he's up there, top 50. All right,
Yeah.
Adam, I feel like if we basically got 9 of the top 15.
We did.
Oh, well,
So-
too bad that's not the game. So you guys saw
Should have been the game.
it. And Hines
All right.
Ward was 14. He had exactly 1,000 receptions.
Ah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
More than I'll do in my life. That's
That's
good.
true. You're not even going to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you suck. All right.
Whoa.
Jordan, why don't you tell the people some news?
All right, let me hit you with some news. Short news week in the NFL here. I think the most intriguing one is some reports out of Panthers camp over there that the Panthers GM said we have no timeline for Bryce Young starting. Andy Dalton's our starter.
It's
We're gonna-
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I told
Cannot
ya.
believe it.
I told you.
Hey, I
Jake,
love
you
the
did
Red
tell us.
Rocket, but holy heck.
Holy heck.
So I think that's surprising. I think it's most shocking for fantasy purposes. I think that
Yeah.
just tanks Bryce Young's stock, like at least for redraft leagues.
Yeah.
He's worth picking up still because he'll definitely start at some point in the year.
Over under 4 weeks until Bryce Young gets the job.
I think I said something along. I think I said 4. I might have said 3. Something like that.
I'll look back and see if I can find
I don't know
something.
I don't know if we ever booked anything, but
Oh, we did. Jake, you and I did make a book it, and we'll
yeah?
deal with this at the end of the season. But on March 16th, Jake says Andy Dalton will be the week 1 starter in Carolina. I bet you a Subway sub. And I said, not a chance. You're crazy. Quote,
Now-
unquote, Jordan.
Hold the phone.
It
Just
hasn't happened
as-
yet.
Yeah, until week 1 rolls in, I'm not buying it, but I like the Red Rocket. I do.
Yeah. Wow. All right, Jake.
He single-handedly got the Bills back in the playoffs after quite a drought. So
who are you talking
The
about?
Bills?
Andy
Andy
Dalton.
Dalton?
remember, he threw a touchdown to
Listen to this
AJ.
guy. Listen to how stupid he sounds.
No, I'm serious. He threw a touchdown
Jordan
to a Bengals receiver, and that got the Bills in the playoffs because they needed the Ravens to lose.
Oh,
So,
come on.
okay.
look it up.
Okay.
That is
Who's
weak.
stupid now, boys?
No.
Yeah, I'm insulted. Okay, I was going to be nice to you guys today. What is this?
That was a weak take.
They gave the guy a standing ovation. I saw the video the other day. Get out of here. Next
Okay.
question. Come on.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Next piece of news is small, but potentially significant for another book it that Jake and I have competing against each other. And that is that Brock Purdy to resume throwing in June. So recovery has been going exceptionally well for Brock Purdy after a UCL something injury in the championship game. So he is to resume throwing open competition there in
They're
San
talking about
Francisco.
Sam Darnold starting, possibly.
Well, that would just be crazy.
No one wants that.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Okay,
That's
really,
the-
that's all we got. Slow news week, huh?
Slow news week. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, then why don't we just jump on into the AFC West? This is Adam's favorite division. It's your friendly reminder: the Broncos will finish 3rd in this division easily.
I agree with you, Jake. I just want to preface that. I agree with you, but I got a hot take on it.
Oh, you do. What's your hot take on 3rd in the
They
division?
will be a wild card team, and they'll finish 3rd in the division. It's fine. You know, they're going to improve, and I think they're going to sneak in the playoffs.
Jordan, they going to finish above 500? Yep.
No.
I agree. They will not. They will not hit 9-8. Not a chance.
If they do, it's gonna be 9-8. Like they are gonna be 8-9 or 9-8.
Hey, I would love to be a homer and say they're going to win 10 games, but I can't morally say that on live stream here.
Yeah.
On live
I
stream.
got to be realistic. But 9-8 would be good. You know what? I'll take 8-9, man. It's an improvement. As long as I watch competent football this fall, I will be happy.
Hey, you know what? You don't have to watch Melvin Gordon fumble
Yeah.
inside the 5.
Thank all things good. Yeah.
Multiple times.
Please move on. I will get heated.
Hey, he's a Super Bowl champion. All right.
Yeah, great. Moving on.
All right. Which team do we want to start with today?
Why don't we just start with We'll go down the list. We'll start with the Chargers.
Good
Wow.
stuff.
You have a very active road next to you, Adam.
I live on Main Street, so.
Oh, well, there you go. Why don't we hit the Chargers? We'll keep doing what we did last time. Adam, you were talking about quarterbacks, right?
Yep.
And then Jordan, what'd you do?
I did running backs.
Okay, I'll do the receivers then.
And
So-
then Adam, you and I could switch off tight ends like we did last time.
Sure, you want Chargers Vegas, and then I'll take Broncos Kansas City.
Love that for
All
us.
right,
Yep.
great. Adam, why don't we start off with the Chargers? Justin Herbert, Herbie, talk about him.
All right, man. You know, and it pains me when we talk about the AFC West to praise guys. You know, I could talk about how when Jordan and I went to Denver for the game, Justin Herbert looked okay and not that great, but he is elite. Okay, I'll say it. It's fine. He's elite. I mean, you are getting a guy that's going to be elite for the next 15 years. I mean, it's, you know, for fantasy purposes, if you're in a typical league, take him early. I mean, his ADP right now is seventh round, 3rd pick, QB number 7. And again, I think he's one of those guys that could fit in the top 5 easily at the end of the year. I think he truly could be top 3 if he really excels. The only qualm I have for him for fantasy purposes, for football purposes, qualm. Yeah, I've got a qualm. It's an issue, all right? Brandon Staley's the head coach, and I'm not the biggest fan of Brandon Staley. They brought in a new offensive coordinator, which Joe Lombardi was a fine offensive coordinator you got a defensive-minded head coach who's going to want to run the ball a lot. Justin Herbert, though, can run the ball, so he can do read option things, RPOs, all that good stuff. He's elite. Take him, especially if you're in a dynasty league. Definitely lock him in, obviously, if you haven't started a dynasty league up to this point. He's elite. He's got weapons. Mike Williams, can he stay healthy? I don't know. But he does have weapons. Keenan Allen's still in his 20s, right? Fact check me there, I guess.
He is not. He's 30.
30 now, finally. It seems like the guy's been in the league forever, and we'll talk about him in a little bit. But, Justin Herbert's got weapons. He has a great running game with Eckler, who's not going anywhere, it doesn't seem like now. They added Quentin Johnston, who I'm super high on. We'll talk about him later, too. Herbert's just elite, and I think we all can agree with that.
Yeah, I think finishing top 3 is certainly within his ceiling, right?
Yep.
I think his floor is he's being drafted as quarterback 7. I mean, his floor is quarterback 7, right? He's not going to finish outside the top 10.
His floor, like where he finishes, would be number 8. I think. I think he's just really good.
Yeah, this is one of those where usually I'm not really high on taking quarterbacks so early, but I like the QB7 spot for him right now. If his ADP stays that way, because like I said, I think the ceiling is high, so it's a high risk or a high reward pick. He finished his QB11 last year. That seems like as low as he'll go. I mean, his receivers were injured the entire year last year.
Yeah, it was a Josh Palmer show for a while.
Yeah, and he still finished his QB11, so I think that just shows you that he's got it. And I like him at QB7 because, like you said, he could be much higher than that.
Yep.
All right, let me hit you with some running backs. So we have Austin Eckler, finished his RB4 last year, and he was a PPR monster. So his his rushing stats for 900 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns, which is great. I mean, 13 touchdowns is awesome production. But where he really earns his keep is he had 100 receptions for 700 yards and another 5 touchdowns, and that's where he becomes just awesome. That's why he finishes in top 5 if you're PPR. He finishes even higher. He's being drafted as RB5. If he stays on the Chargers, I like the spot. He was requested a trade. They talked about it. There's talk of it. Something to keep an eye on for Austin Eckler. But if he stays on the Chargers, no problems taking him in the first round. He's going to
top 5, right? Top 5 pick.
Yep.
Easy.
Yep. Well, he's running back 5. He's being drafted as, so kind of like the second half of the first round.
So who would be going? Who are the 4 running backs ahead of him then? McCaffrey, Taylor.
I'll look it up while we're talking.
Because off the top of my head, he should be running back 3 in my head, or in those top 3 though. Because I don't think maybe Bijan right now is being taken super high.
Bijan and Ken Walker is going pretty high too in a lot of these leagues.
I think that I don't have any problem with him being running back 3. I like McCaffrey. I like Taylor over him, but it's I don't have a problem if you want Eckler over either of those guys. But yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah, go ahead. Saquon's going before him.
Really?
Saquon is.
I'd rather have
the other one.
I'd rather have Eckler. Personally.
Agreed.
Yeah, then they got their backup Josh Kelly. Did you want to talk at all about that?
Yeah, the only reason I wanted to mention Josh Kelly is because of Austin Eckler potentially getting traded. So Josh Kelly finished as running back 62, not really notable, but he was serviceable in games. And so if Austin Eckler ever gets injured or goes out or ends up getting traded, Josh Kelly is the guy. So he's being undrafted right now. He's one I would just keep an eye on waiver wires if something ever changes.
Yeah, I like Kelly. He played in 13 games, but he rarely played, right? But he still had 14 receptions for 100 yards, which is showing you that if he were to go in there because of injury or a holdout or whatever the heck might happen with Eckler, he's still going to be part of that passing game as well. So, pretty decent handcuff too. Maybe even someone who should be taken. I like to take handcuffs. So if I have Dalvin Cook, I like taking Madison, right? Just because it covers me later on. Joshua Kelly, decent handcuff, I think.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the chat, quick note, do you guys think Eckler ever becomes relevant if Melvin Gordon never held out?
I don't think so.
So Melvin Gordon held out when he was on the Chargers.
The problem is, we all know that Melvin Gordon fumbled a lot. I think that he would have still been the guy if he didn't hold out. He's still uber talented even today as we trash him for fumbling all the time.
You trash him for fumbling all the time.
Well, come on now. It's a fact. But anyway, yeah, I think Eckler would not have been as elite as he's been the last few years if Gordon would have held out. I really don't.
It's all about opportunity, right?
Yep.
You never know. Another good example, bringing it back home for us, I think A.J. Dillon is another guy who is a starter in this league, but he's buried behind Aaron Jones.
Yep.
And so while they're both healthy, he's not very fantasy relevant, but someday could maybe be a starter. Talking about the receivers, you guys mentioned them: Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Quentin Johnson. It's a pretty good threesome, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Keenan Allen is just Mr. Consistent when he's available. I know I kind of contradict what I'm saying, but when he is healthy, he's good for 7 catches a game, right? A guy I like to have on my team, 8th round ADP for a wide receiver 1 is pretty good. Like, that's a good offense. Kellen Moore's new offensive coordinator, I think, is really going to open up the offense. Getting him there is pretty decent, right? I mean, he's wide receiver 21, so he's a high-end wide receiver 3, and I think that we can all agree he's better than that, right?
Yeah, if he stays healthy.
If he stays healthy,
that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Mike Williams' ADP is in the 11th round, which is just bonkers for me. I really like Mike Williams.
I do too, but again, the big thing is the injuries, right? Yep. He's not available. He has the talent that can be a wide receiver 1 easily. He's showed flashes of it throughout his career so far, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Jake. I love him. I mean, it's
last year he finished as wide receiver 31, but the year before that he was a top 10 receiver. Mm-hmm. He was catching touchdowns like a maniac.
So I like their ADPs as they sit right here, but I don't think they'll stay there. I don't. I think they'll move up. Quentin Johnson, I don't know how relevant he's going to be this year, just because he's buried on the depth chart. But he's worth someone to take it late because you have 2 guys in front of him who are injury prone, right? So taking him late, holding on to him, waiting a few weeks, and then he might be able to show some return, just like Joshua Palmer was last year, right? A guy late round, very, very late round, and then because of injuries, ended up playing, right?
Yeah, Josh Palmer played 16 games games last year, but that doesn't really tell the full story. He had almost all of his production when Mike Williams and Keenan Allen were out.
He was a monster for a few weeks.
So he was awesome in those couple of weeks that he had to play. So I like both Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson. Again, not that you would necessarily draft him, but that you would be constantly on the lookout and putting a waiver in as soon as something happens to
one of those 2,
Keenan Allen or Mike Williams.
I truly think. 3 years down the road, Johnson will be top 5. I truly love this kid. He is a beast.
Definitely
watching him in the Michigan game. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Well, watching him in that Michigan game, I mean, he just took it over. The reason Michigan lost at times is because Johnson was just a stud, going against pretty elite talent. So I just really like the kid.
Yeah, I agree. Who's talking about Jared Everett?
Me. I get Gerald Everett.
Lucky you.
Yep. So he finished it. Listen, don't say that in the sarcastic tone. I love him. He is my perfect tight end.
I love him.
You draft him in like the last round. Current ADP is undrafted. People aren't taking him. But he finished his tight end 14 last year. So he's one of those guys that you could just pick up on a waiver, and he is serviceable. He played 16 games last year. He, will get you a couple of receptions, a couple of touchdowns, handful of yards. He's just there. He's in a good offense, which is what I like about him. I like the new offensive coordinator who's there, who found a way to use Dalton Schultz in Dallas. And so I like Gerald Everett. They didn't draft anyone. I thought the Chargers were a candidate to draft the tight end, and they didn't. So he's just one of those guys that just, pick him up way later. You can run him through the year. You can kind of stream him each week.
Yeah, I think he can stretch the field a little bit. I don't know. There's so many receiving weapons there now. Does he excel? I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this a million times this summer. We like to wait on tight ends, and he's another great example. And I think that's why we like to wait, right? Is because there's so few really good ones, and then there's, one or two in like the 7th round, right? And then there's like 10 later on that you could get good or decent return for as your last pick or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So why don't we jump in, Adam? Let's talk about those Las Vegas Raiders. Can you give me your best Las Vegas Raiders after that
I'm
motorcycle
sorry,
goes by?
there's a truck going by. What did you say?
Can you give me your best Las Vegas Raiders? Like, I can't do it because of the COVID right now. But when
Raiders!
Thank you. That was great. Talk about Jimmy G.
I just win, baby, right? Except you got the wrong head coach for it. Boy, do I know it. Josh McDaniels. Entering year 2, which was the same year he got fired in Denver when he was there. But ultimately, I think the Raiders are going to be 4th in the division, and I'm not trying to be biased here because out of all the teams that I hate in the division, it's the Raiders first. I always hated the Raiders. But Jimmy G comes in as the guy. He did Jimmy G things when he became the Niners quarterback last year. His TD to interception ratio was awesome. 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Not flashy, right, with the amount of yards he has. 2 rushing TDs, though, so he's more spry than he looks.
Spry.
And I
gets himself hurt.
Yeah, gets himself hurt. And, that's why his ADP currently right now is undrafted. I think he'll get drafted. I think if you're in a 2 QB league, definitely take him. He's the guy moving forward, and I think he'll do fine. He's going to be, if he stays healthy. Again, we're saying if he stays healthy for a lot of these guys, but Jimmy G is the guy that you've got to wrap in bubble wrap because otherwise he's doomed. I thought they would address O-line a little more in the offseason to protect him a little bit, but ultimately he's due for a good year. They've got weapons. I'm not high on Jacoby Myers. He has Devontae Adams, though.
Stop talking
Michael
about my
Mayer.
guys.
What's up?
Stop talking about my guys.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, weapons affect the quarterback. Michael Mayer, my boy from Notre Dame, got drafted. Austin Hooper's there. That's all good. He'll do fine. He's not sexy. That's our term for the guys that aren't very, very attractive in fantasy purposes. I think he'll do fine. Don't reach for him, obviously, especially with the injury history. But Jimmy G, I root for him. Now I can't. I hope he is irrelevant this year. I was going to say I hope he gets hurt, but that would be horrible.
You don't wish
no,
that.
I don't hope he gets hurt.
Oh
but I hope
God.
I hope he's not that good.
What is wrong with you?
So, Jimmy G, he's a good guy. He's a good quarterback. You can take him in a 2 QB league for sure. Maybe as a good backup for you in a 1 QB league. But I've got nothing but good things to say about Jimmy G. I was there when he beat the Packers in the divisional round, and that was fun.
Cool.
I'm just saying that was pretty fun.
Okay, stop talking. Jeez. Adam, Jordan, top 20 this season.
No, Jimmy
Any
G.
chance?
I want no part of Jimmy G.
Okay.
He will not play 10 games this year.
Now, hold on,
crazy
wait.
if you think you should get him as a backup. That's what you're saying. You're just wrong. He's
No,
not
no,
going to be
no,
around
no.
to be a backup when someone else gets hurt. He is going to get hurt first.
Hey, man, if we label Kenny freaking Pickett as the top 20 quarterback, which I think we did last week, I think if Jimmy G stays healthy, I think he's way better than Kenny
It
Pickett.
has nothing to do with his skill. It has everything to do with his ability to stay healthy.
You can't,
and he just won't
Jordan.
stay
You
healthy.
can't just assume he's going to get hurt.
Oh, shall we look at history? Jake?
Maybe it was the Niners stadium, Jordan.
What, are you talking about the turf now?
No, it's grass.
I always
It's
think
grass.
these are really interesting, right? Because why? It's interesting why some people get hurt and others don't, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look back, the foot injury, he just got stepped on.
Mhm.
The ACL, he just cut, and he broke. Like he didn't. It's not like he did anything, right?
Right.
He just
You think
Got
he's going to
bad
start
luck.
every single game this year?
Book
Is
it.
that what you're trying to tell me?
book it.
That you really want to book that?
17.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
You are
Hey,
just
Jake,
so
I'm with you,
wrong.
buddy. I'm rooting for you.
It's fine. It's fine because even if I'm wrong and he holds 16, we're counting that as a win. So, like...
Also, on March 25th, you already made that book. Jimmy G will play every game this season.
I love me
So
some
you're
Jimmy
staying
G.
consistent.
I love me some Jimmy G. Top 20.
I have no beef with Jimmy G as a player. I have all of the beef with him as he will be injured. He will not finish the season. And he's taking a step backwards in coaching. Yeah. He had the best coach for making any quarterback look good. He is taking a step back to go to Josh McDaniels, who can't make anybody look good.
Except Tom Brady.
Well, he wasn't the head coach. Yeah. And Tom Brady doesn't need a coach to make him look good. He just does it all.
Okay, all right. Can we just move on from Jimmy G?
Yeah, we'll move on. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, if he would have played 17 games, he would have threw for 30 touchdowns. And
yeah, perfect. Cool. I can't wait to see him play 17 games.
Book it. He's top 17.
A top 17. Come on, Jake. Put 15. A little gusto behind
I'll put him at 15.
Wow.
If he plays every game and plays the way he did last year, he would throw for 30 touchdowns versus like 7 picks. That is
You're saying a made-up scenario, Jake. You're saying a made-up scenario where Jimmy G plays every game of the year.
Hey, listen.
Are you booking it?
I already did. If I feel comfortable booking a Marcus Mariota top 14 or whatever it was, I'm okay with this one. I feel better about this than I did the Mariota thing last year.
No, you're just... We'll be a top 15 QB.
Oh man, I'm gonna win this book at year.
And I'm literally gonna put injury does not null this.
Oh no.
Null this take.
All right, I'll talk about.
Usually we give you a pass, Jake. If there was an injury, we'd give you a pass. I will not give you a pass on this.
All right, talk about. Can you talk about Josh Jacobs? Come on.
All right.
Jeez,
I'm fired up,
guys. I have COVID. I'm tired. Can we hurry this up?
All right, let's zoom through this. Josh Jacobs finished as running back 1 last year. He had an exceptional season. I mean, 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 400 yards receiving. He will not replicate it.
I don't want anything. There is not a scenario where I am taking him there, especially to interrupt you with Davante Adams. His ADP is 4 picks later. Not a chance would I pick Josh Jacobs over Davante Adams.
No, yeah, Josh Jacobs is overly inflated. He had an awesome year. If you drafted him, he won your league. Don't take him in the. He's going right now at the second round, pick like 2-2. Don't take him there.
No, not a chance. Yeah. And I mean, where would you be comfortable? Back half the second round? Third round?
Early third? Yeah. He just won't be there. Everyone's going to be looking at his RB1 finish, and let someone else take him there.
Yep.
That's fine.
Does he finish top 5?
No.
Does he finish top 10?
Yep.
That's best case scenario.
I think he finishes like 8. Right? I don't want anything to do with him.
He's a Bronco killer. Like every time he plays the Broncos, he goes off.
Most teams are, Adam. Most teams are.
Everyone was last year.
Yeah. Russell Wilson was a Bronco killer.
Nathaniel Hackett, Bronco killer. All right. Anyway, receivers.
Yeah, I mean, just last thing. Zamir White, the backup, though, I really like him. Just saying. As someone who could come in a nice handcuff.
Take him way late.
A handcuff, whatever. Also, it's worth noting Josh Jacobs he didn't sign a deal, so this could be his last year in Oakland or in Las Vegas. So,
right.
Just something to keep an eye on. We talked about Davante Adams. He's been like the best for like ever. Is this an upgrade or a downgrade for him? Going from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Down, because he won't be there.
And does it affect his numbers? Is he still finishing as a top 5 receiver this year? That's my question. I think so too, because Jimmy G's going to play every week. But the real question, and we don't need to talk about Davante Adams too much. I would be comfortable taking him in the back half of the first round. His ADP is 2.6, and that's the back half of the second round. If you get Eckler at pick 4 and somehow can get Davante Adams in your second round pick, you've already won your draft. So they signed Jacoby Myers, who I think is an underrated guy. I don't hate on him. It's just that he doesn't really do anything super flashy. According to Jordan's thing here, he's undrafted. That can't be right. He's got to be being taken somewhere. Especially with Hunter Renfrow. If he has an ADP right now, Jacoby Myers should have an ADP right now.
Yeah, I would not expect that to stay the way that it is. Yep.
I guess, who do you think has a better fantasy year this year? Jacoby Myers or Hunter Renfrow?
I'm going to say Myers, and I don't like Myers, but I think Renfro was overrated after his first year in the league. He did really well, or his second year, one of the
Yeah.
two. I think Myers is going to have the better year because he fits the system better. He's used to Josh McDaniels. I guess it's a horse apiece, really. It wouldn't shock me if Renfro had a better year.
No.
I think it's Myers just for that reason. If Derek Carr was still there, I would feel differently. I would say it was Renfro.
Do you feel comfortable with Myers as a wide receiver 3?
Low end wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
That's a ceiling.
You think that's a ceiling? I mean, I don't think that's.
You're about to tell me he's right up there with Odell Beckham
no,
as a wide receiver 2.
I don't think that's a bad take. I'm just saying that I think he could give you weeks that are better than that, right? I think.
Oh, like an individual week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could catch a touchdown.
But I think his floor is wide receiver 3 for me.
Oh no, I think his floor is lower.
I just feel good at. I don't want to say his ceiling is wide receiver 3 or his floor is. I just think he is a wide receiver 3, right? And that's what you're going to get every week. So
he finished as wide receiver 4 when he was the only guy.
Yeah, but Mac Jones is awful. Jimmy
G is the savior.
Yo,
he's better than Mac Jones.
All right, I can't do this with you
Keep
guys.
going.
I can't
talk about these.
All right,
bad
tight ends. We have a couple of tight ends here. Darren Waller left, so they brought in Austin Hooper, who played 17 games last year, 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, nothing. And then they drafted Michael Mayer, Notre Dame boy. Shout out to Adam. I don't know what to think of this tight end room at all.
They're all undrafted, and I leave it at that.
I probably won't touch it. And then they'll probably be undrafted, and then eventually, if you want to pick them up on waiver because they have a good matchup and stream them, if one appears to be the number one, whatever. But
I don't think you should start either of these players.
But later in the season, if it's it turns out
yeah,
all right.
I think Mayer starts to heat it up, I'm starting him, Jake. I
think Mayer is the guy to own in a dynasty league, right? I think he should be one of the first tight ends off the board. But I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo can handle 4 great receivers.
He can't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He can only handle 1. And it's Devontae Adams, and everyone else is
as long as he finishes top 15, who cares? All right, moving on to the Broncos. Adam, talk about Russ. Let him cook.
Hey, my heart just fluttered when you said Broncos. I just want to point that out. It's good to talk the Broncos. Last year I was super high on Nathaniel Hackett.
Whoops.
That was a whoops. I will admit that every time. But you have a coach, before I get into Russell Wilson, you have a coach that's immediately, and it's not saying much, I think he adds 3 wins to the Broncos just by being in the building. Taking away Russell Wilson's QB room or whatever he had in the executive offices, whatever. I think Russell Wilson will get better. Is he going to be the elite guy he was? No, he's getting old. I mean, he's 35 now. He's not really? Either 34 still and going to be 35, or he's 35. So he's a little older. He will play better. His ADP is 11th round, 7th pick. I think that's fine for him. And you can take him there confidently knowing he's going to be better. If you reach a little more than that, like early 11th round, late 10th, that's okay if there's a run on quarterbacks and you need a guy. I mean, this is something where, again, coaching plays a huge role. The last 3 games of the year, Jerry Rosenberg was the head coach, the interim guy. He started booting out Russell Wilson, getting good at what Russell's good at, and Russell had 3 good games at the end of the year. He threw for over 300 yards. He threw 3 touchdowns in that game against the Chargers. If you have a coach that knows how to use them and he's not stubborn with okay, I'm going to run my plays because Russell should run my plays. Russell's in a system now where they're going to boot him out like they did with Drew Brees in the twilight of his career when he was 40. They're going to get the ball out quick, and they're going to run the ball down people's throat. That's what Sean Payton has said coming into this. I think Russell Wilson gets better because of the coach. I think he's better because Tim Patrick's back healthy. What a guy, right? We love me. All of us love some Timmy P. I'm still your guy.
Not this year.
Okay, well, hold on. But I think, again, Russ is going to cook a little better. Is he going to be elite? I don't know. I would love for him to be elite again, and I would love to just, tell all the haters out there that Russ is back. He's cooking good food instead of hot dogs and ice cream. But, I think
What?
I've also heard. Hold on. I've also heard Russell Wilson has lost weight this year because he did look a little pudgier last year. It sounded like he wasn't taking care of himself. So he's
Adam's going to
he's,
talk for 20 minutes about Russell Wilson.
Oh
Keep
my
going.
gosh, we're cutting you off.
well, hold on. Okay, yeah, he's better. I mean,
Okay,
he's
here,
going to be better.
Let us respond quickly. 11th round ADP. I think that's fine. I think his ceiling could definitely be higher than that.
Yep.
But I think that you could also see him just perform as quarterback 12, right?
Can I book something?
I would love it if you'd book something.
I haven't booked something for a while here, boys.
So you're going to book a
I
Denver
think Russell
Bronco
Wilson will have at least 30 touchdowns passing and at least 5 touchdowns on the ground.
So he's going to have 35 touchdowns.
35 total touchdowns. Yep.
Yeah, he'll be a top 7 quarterback then.
Excellent. I hope it happens.
Wow. I hope, yeah.
I'm hoping to.
He finished his QB 16 last year. He will not be a top 10. He'll be higher than QB 16. That's just what he'll be.
Okay.
He's just a QB 2.
Joey says, "Whoa, the disrespect you just shot at hot dogs and ice cream is egregious." Don said,
Joey, I didn't know that was a delicacy from where you're from, buddy.
Don says, "I'd take Rihanna over Russell Wilson."
Yeah, everyone. There's a lot of people I'd take over Russell Wilson. And Jake's saying he would take Jimmy G over Russell Wilson.
I would, yeah.
Jeez. All right. Anyway, running backs. Javonte Williams is back, healthy, ready to go. That'll be awesome. I'm excited for that. He got injured last year. He's currently, his ADP's in the 8th round as running back 23. I like that. I expect that to go higher.
Yeah,
I expect that to increase, that it'll end up being higher. But if that's true, I don't mind that at all because I think that that's a good kind of value there.
Steal. Yeah,
he was being taken in like the 2nd round last year in drafts. And then the other guy that they brought in is Samaje Perine. He finished as running back 38, which I thought was an awesome backup spot for him, and I still like him as a backup.
Yeah.
I think that that Sean Payton loves his 1-2 punch at running back. I think he continues doing that. So kind of taking
I need to respond to Joey in the chat quick though. Yeah. Williams will have more yards and touchdowns than Perine. I like Perine, but Joey, come on, man.
Okay.
All right.
They're
being taken pretty close. Like running back 23, Javonte Williams, and then running back 32, Samaje Perine. So people are thinking that they're pretty close, but I would expect that gap to widen a little bit.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I just remember Williams, like when he was healthy, was a stud. He was bowling over guys. He was explosive in the open field.
Yeah, you're wrong about that. He played 4 games. The 4th game he got hurt and he ran for 200 total yards.
He had a year before, though. He had a year before where he played well. So.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for that ADP to start climbing, and we can hear all about it all summer. And
He's bowling people over 50 yards a game. Here he comes.
And I will not end up with any of him. All right, receivers. So we've talked about the Broncos receivers a lot in the past. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and then they took Marvin Mims. We love some Tim Patrick.
Just work through it, Jake.
I can't work through that. Are you kidding me, Adam? No.
Be professional.
I like some Tim Patrick. I like Marvin Mims more this year. Jeez. Only the finest production things here. Oh, he had to turn off his camera. Oh, no. All right, let me talk about the receivers. Jerry Jeudy's going in the 5th round. Cortland Sutton's going in the 10th round. Jordan, which receiver would you rather have?
I think Jerry Jeudy.
Not a chance in HE double hockey stick. I love Cortland Sutton, and especially with a 10th round ADP, I would much rather have him there than taking Jeudy in the 5th.
It's all about well. You're not asking me where I would rather take them. You asked me which one I like better.
I think they'll end up around the same.
Who is the better value is a different question.
No,
I think Jerry Jeudy is better. Who's the better value? Cortland Sutton being taken way later.
I think
you're right. They finished with the same same amount of receptions and yards. Jerry Jeudy just had more touchdowns. That can switch easy.
I know, and that doesn't warrant a 5-round difference.
Okay, well, you just You gave me the old bait and switch there.
Well, pay attention.
Might I chime in, boys?
Of course, you're going to do it for every position, so go ahead.
Jerry Jeudy will be better than Sutton because Sutton has broken my heart the last 3 years. So I'm on the Jeudy train for sure.
Oh, great. Well, you're wrong.
Do you think 2 Denver Broncos receivers have over 1,000 yards?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you should book that, Adam.
I will book it.
Okay.
I'm not going to book exactly who because here's the thing: it could be Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton, could be Sutton and Jeudy, could be Jeudy and Patrick. I don't know.
Oh my god, the
but it's
chat
gonna
is
be.
going
I
off.
guarantee you. No, I guarantee you it'll happen.
Guys, just some fun things going on in the chat here. That was the sound of Adam's pathetic Javante take riding away. Those cars on Main Street sound like his stomach growling in hunger for Russ Wilson to actually do something significant in Denver. Jeez.
I should have gone golfing. I should have gone golfing before this episode.
And then Joey says Sutton greater than Jeudy, and I know we agree on that. So, I think Sutton's the better value. I think he's also the better player. That's my opinion. But I think I'll end up with a lot of... If that ADP sticks, I think I'll end up with a lot of him because...
Yeah, that's a great spot for it. 10th round.
The wild card, especially in Dynasty Leagues, though, is Mims. I think Mims is a good value in Dynasty Leagues. Is he effective in regular leagues? No.
I think Mims makes Patrick irrelevant. That's my thought. I really like I really like Mims.
Yeah.
I really do. Adam, talk about Dulcich.
Okay, Greg Dulcich, the guy with a hair flow that make all of us jealous, for sure. Sorry, but he actually is a guy that can stretch the field. His 40 time I think was right around like 4.5 or 4.4.
Yep.
So he's really fast. He's athletic. He has good ball skills. When he got drafted, people were like, he's a receiver playing tight end. He's not the blocking guy, which doesn't matter for fantasy. You hope he's in the receiving game, right? The only problem is that we have such a talented receiving room. Is he going to be utilized that well in Sean Payton's system? But history tells us that Payton likes his tight ends. They like guys like Jimmy Graham, but Dulcich is no Jimmy Graham, and at least not yet. I think he's really good. You can get him at good value if he's undrafted, right? His ADP is undrafted. If you need a tight end late in the draft, yep, you can definitely, guys, come on. You can take a guy late in the round if you need a tight end. This is how much they don't care about Dulcich, guys. They're talking in our chat while I'm trying to talk here, and it's making me laugh.
Okay,
you're talking so much about someone who's never going to be drafted.
I mean, would you rather him or Jared Everett?
Gerald Everett, what? 100%.
Joey,
I'd rather have
Joey
Austin
says,
Hooper
Joey
than Greg Dulcich.
Well, that's wrong. But Joey says Adam's Greg Dulcich hair take is the best analyst he's given all night.
Thank you, Joey.
Oh my god!
All right, come on, moving right along. Give me Patrick Mahomes.
I apologize for talking in the chat while you were doing that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm on to Mahomes now, right?
Yeah. Oh, great. Here we go.
Yeah,
right.
I don't got a lot to say because I don't think there's going to be a lot of conversation here. He's the GOAT right now in the league. Currently playing, not GOAT in history, but he's elite. He can make lemonade out of lemons because, again, his receiving room was kind of weird last year. ADP's third round, 9th pick. You can feel confident taking him earlier than that, I think.
Did you just say that he makes lemonade out of lemons?
Yeah.
I mean, most people can.
When life gives you lemons.
Anyway, Pat Mahomes, take him. He went over 5,000 yards with some bums in a receiving room. Don't even think about it. I mean, don't think too hard about it. If you got to take a quarterback, take Pat Mahomes.
Is he the only one you would feel comfortable taking in the third round? Or is he doing it at any point? Philosophically, would you do it?
Yeah, I would take him in the second.
In the second?
Second?
Yep, I'd take him in the second.
Bonkers.
I would. End of the second, but I would take him in the second.
I don't know about that, but it is disrespectful that he's going as QB2 and that someone is going ahead of him.
Who is going ahead of him?
Is it Josh Allen? Okay. Just disrespectful.
Okay, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's like it's a preference thing, right? If you're going to take a quarterback early, it's one of those two. And I don't think you should take either of them.
I agree you shouldn't take it. But I think Patrick Mahomes should be the number one.
I agree. And, he's just showing it. He has a real chance. I know it's so early and we won't know for years. He could be the GOAT. Like, he's only been in the league for 5 years.
Yeah, he's awesome. Love me some Pat Mahomes.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Running backs in Kansas City.
We're falling apart.
And kind of the rest of Kansas City is a little confusing. But after Pat Mahomes, and then we'll get to Travis Kelce, everything else is just kind of the messy middle. We have Isaiah Pacheco, who kind of seems to be emerging as their number one running option. He played in all 17 games. That's a misleading stat because he was really only relevant for kind of the back half of the year. Still rushed for 830 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's going right now in the 6th round as an ADP, as the 19th running back overall. I feel like that's probably where he'll end up going, and I'm kind of torn.
I'm nervous about that.
I'm nervous about it if it's... I want to say that's a good spot for him, but I'm nervous because they also have Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire still on the team.
They really gave Jerick McKinnon a very large role at the end of last year. I mean, Adam owns him in our home league, and he was a monster.
Yeah, agreed. I think Jerick McKinnon has PPR, major PPR upside. If you're in a PPR league, I really like Jerick McKinnon because of the receiving upside. He only had 200, almost 300, he had 300 rush yards and a touchdown, but he had 56 receptions for 500 yards.
And it was all the last 8 weeks.
Yeah. And that was kind of when he really started picking it up. I would imagine what I'm envisioning is Pacheco is your primary runner. Jerick McKinnon comes in, and he's catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. They don't really cross over into each other.
Yeah.
The wild card here is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's going undrafted. He kind of seems like he's fallen down the depth chart, but he's still there, and he's still on the team.
That's weird, man. He was, relevant, and then all of a sudden, not at all. You don't really typically...
He was relevant in the first 5 weeks last year.
You don't see a guy go from the starter, they bring someone new in, and it's not even like they brought someone new in. They drafted a 7th round running back, right?
Yeah.
And then he just nothing.
Yeah.
So it was odd. I mean, geez, Melvin Gordon. They brought Melvin Gordon in. They did not want CEH at all.
Yeah.
If there's one coach that knows, though, it's Andy Reid. I mean, he knows his players really well.
Yeah. In a PPR league, I'd rather have Jerick McKinnon in the 13th round than Pacheco in the 6th.
Yeah. I mean, I also like Pacheco at the 6th. If you were to go running back, or 2 running backs in the 3rd round in the first 3 rounds, I like Pacheco as your 3rd running back, right?
In the 6th?
Yeah,
that's kind of a nice spot.
I mean, if you can get running back, receiver, and then Pacheco, I mean that's good value. But yeah, I agree. I think McKinnon's the better value there. Receiver wise, here's a bucket. I got another one. Kadarius Toney will be a top 20 receiver.
Ooh,
I
like that.
Yeah, they are talking him up as wide receiver 1, and it's he's the most talented. He's better than MVS. He's better than Sky Moore. They did draft. They drafted a receiver as well in the 2nd round, but he's a talented dude, and I mean, I just think and Mahomes needs another number 1 wide receiver. Okay, obviously he has Travis Kelce, but someone needs to step up. I think that's Toney. I think that in the 9th round, if that stays, I think you could be really getting some really good value there. You got to remember that Toney came over midway through the year, and then that takes time to become accustomed. And you saw flashes of it,
especially in the playoffs. The Super Bowl run, I really liked what I saw at Toney. So
yeah.
I agree. I think he's the one to own.
I don't want anything to do with MVS. I think MVS could go undrafted, and then you could just pick him up on the waiver wire for a week if you need it. And that all takes us back to, I don't know which one are you going to talk about it, but Travis Kelce. So I don't know who's talking about it.
I guess that's me.
Yeah.
As long as you're all right with Jordan.
Please. Favorite
quote of Travis Kelce for all the tight ends out there, because we have the Kelce rule. Know your role and shut your mouth, jabroni. He said that in a post-game interview.
I really hope he did. Otherwise, that was just ridiculous.
No, I'm serious. Yep, look it up. He said it. I think it was about one of the coaches that they played in the playoffs or something like that. But hey, he's elite. He's going to do Travis Kelce things, barring any injury that would happen to him. I don't got a lot to say. I know we're getting long winded here, but he's easily going to be the number one tight end, barring injury. Again, like I said, his ADP is round 1, pick 10, right at the end of the first round there. I think he's going to be right around stat-wise where he was last year. Maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher. But again, Pat Mahomes and him have such a chemistry. It's unbelievable what they've been able to do.
Do you feel comfortable taking him in the first round?
I do.
For me, I can't. I just can't.
That's tough.
There are so few guys where Father Time has not hit them hard, right? And eventually, because he's older, and eventually something's going to happen. Either that or he'll retire. I think we're talking like 2 more years possibly. And the risk is very high right there. Would you rather, how about this, okay? You got the first pick in the second round. Would you rather have Kelce or Jacobs? See,
Kelce.
I don't want to take Kelce. Jordan?
I think that Travis Kelce regresses. I think he had 110 receptions, over 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. I think he doesn't get 100 receptions, doesn't have 1,200 yards, doesn't have 10 touchdowns, and he still finishes his tight end 1.
Okay. Yeah, I feel good about that too. You don't have to book that. I just feel good about that.
Yep. He's just so much better than the next tight end. So the positional advantage that you have with Travis Kelce is so high.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm fine with him going in the second round. Late first round seems a little high, but like second round, I'm fine with it. It's just, I think their wide receiver room is a little more worked out. Mm-hmm. I think that he benefited from just nobody in the receiving room, and now with Kadarius Toney there and Sky Moore a little bit older, and MVS, Jerick McKinnon is a good pass catcher. I think they just need Travis Kelce as the guy a little bit less. He still will be their primary pass catcher. It's not as
I don't think we can sit here and talk about how good Kadarius Toney's going to be and then assume that Travis Kelce can then continue the numbers he put up last year. So I think a regression from Kelce and a improvement, thank you, for Toney is what we're going to shoot home. I think Kadarius Toney is going to be on a lot of lists this summer that we do.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go, guys. AFC West done. Put it in the books. We're done with it. He froze. Oh no, he's just looking ridiculous. My fault. Few things. Someone was asking, what about Richie James? So former Giant receiver joined the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't even know if he'll make the team.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, he was fantasy relevant last year because of injuries to the Giants. But I mean, you have MVS, Toney, the rookie that they just drafted, Sky Moore. So there's 4, right? Mm-hmm. And okay, he'll make the team because I think he also offers some help in the special teams department. But I don't think he will be. A lot would have to go wrong for Richie James to be relevant again.
But if there are injuries, Patrick Mahomes can make anyone fantasy relevant. So
it's true.
Right. But he won't be drafted.
Some people saying they would totally draft Kelce at 1-7. Cool.
More power to you.
More power to you. Someone said, what about Kelce at 110 and then Pat at 2-1? It would be one of the best stacks.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm in. I kind of dig it, actually, especially to kind of see ADPs later on. Someone was saying CMC, Taylor, Eckler, Jefferson, Chase, Lamb, then Kelce.
I mean, I don't hate.
Yeah, I don't
hate
that.
the spot. It's just my
it's not for
aversion
us,
to
right?
Tight ends and quarterbacks that early. Yeah.
All right. So next week, boys, you think in the East or the South? Adam, make the pick.
South. Let's go. Trevor Lawrence, baby. Let's go.
The most interesting division in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's not. You guys can. Excuse me. Sorry.
You guys can find us on Facebook at the Next Step Fantasy Podcast or on YouTube. come see us. Come join us for the live stream. Join us in the chat. It's a great time.
Oh my
Jake's
gosh.
having a moment.
This COVID,
So.
guys. You guys heard about this thing? Whew.
You
Just
can
kicks your
also
butt.
find us on any podcast outlet you get, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts. We at the Next Step Fantasy Football would love to reach you on there as well.
That's true. We have a Patreon if you want to help monetarily help us out. Great. If not, fine too. We're going to drop another free league here. And then I didn't tell you boys, but I've been talking with someone and they have a pretty large Discord and they want to do a auction league with us that we would talk about and
Love that.
help promote that. So that's something. If you've ever done it, it's fun. If not, give it a try. And I don't know if either of you mentioned you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. Great. Well, do that again. Hit the subscribe button, by the way. We're kind of trying to gain that. Hit the like button. That helps people see this as well.
Yep.
And then on Facebook, we're like 20 away from 400. So invite your friends.
Join us.
Join us. Do it.
Come on.
Do it. But yeah, appreciate everyone hanging around. We'll see you guys next week. And boys, unless you have something else you want to say? Apparently not.
Had some students listening tonight. Hey, hello everybody. Good that you're on. Also, go Broncos, go Twins, go Irish, and go Tigers, baby.
All right. You guys take care. Be good. All right. All right, my friends who are still on YouTube, we appreciate you guys hanging out. John Sleeper has Richie James as their wide receiver 2 on the Chiefs. That can't be right. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not.
That can't be right. And if it is, then we were very, very wrong. We appreciate you guys hanging out. You guys are the bomb. You guys are here every week, and we're very appreciative of you guys. So,
Hey, appreciate all the insults, guys. This was fun.
well, you know, last week you guys just went in on me. So
I know I deserve it. You're right.
you guys will be back next week. Yeah, really don't have much more to say. You guys have anything else to say?
Thanks, guys.
All right.